Okay.
And
Hi.
we started. Let me check to see. Okay, there we go.
Hello, Jennifer. Hi. Welcome to Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Happy new moon.
Yes, I know. It's almost more exciting than the new year, I feel like. Because that
And
wasn't on like any type of moon thing. So now it's like I feel like an actual like new start.
now it's begun. Can't you feel it? Totally.
Oh my gosh, yes. Although I feel like I've been so tired like yesterday and today. Have you? Like so tired.
But then for me, it was also PMS earlier this week. And
Me too, yeah.
okay, yeah. Yeah. So you're like synced up a little bit with the new moon as well.
hmm
Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh, so
was
both of them on top of each other, I was like just not wanting to do anything.
No, it's I was actually looking up an article about hormones, which I didn't finish because I have the memory of a fish apparently, and I just never finish anything. But like I was reading it, I was starting to read it, and it was talking a little bit about what hormone you lose um, more likely to use during PMS that makes you tired. And
Oh,
I
that's
forgot,
really interesting.
yeah, I forgot the name of it. Um, yeah, anyway, so it's really
Yeah,
interesting
I
because
never even thought to like look that up. But it sounds like important.
well, I get so exhausted around that time. Like it's to the point where I know when I'm about to get it because 2 or 3 days before I'm just wiped out. I'm like totally wiped out. So yeah,
Yeah, I feel you. And I feel like because my family always wants to do stuff and I'm like, nah, I just like want to sleep or like lay in bed and like not do anything. Like
yeah.
just watch trash TV on my computer.
Trash TV. I've been rewatching Charmed, by the way.
Nice.
It just makes me so like it's like a warm blanket in the morning. It's so nice. And also watching The Real Housewives of Potomac, speaking of trash TV, but I love it. Like I love but you know what's interesting? I can't watch them in the morning. I can't start my day with them. I can end it, but like I can't start with the the drama.
Yeah, dude, it's so much drama. But you know what? I feel like those shows like teach you to stand up for yourself and like it definitely gives you like good like if you need to have a confrontational like talk, like it gives you good like intro and outros like because those women they don't care. They're just like in it. They're like, "Nah, I'm going for it." Like whereas that's like not natural to me, so it's good for me to like watch them like work through their stuff.
It hypes you up a little bit, right? But they're
Definitely.
so funny. They're just like it's definitely not healthy conflict a lot of the times. Like you're talking to them, Jennifer, about like one thing, like, "Hey, Brittany, the way you spoke to me last week was like terrible," and then Brittany counters with, "Well, your husband's on coke." It's just like, what does that one have to do with the other? Like, I'm so confused. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's so
Well,
funny.
yeah. And then I love how they're always like, "Oh, no, girl, we're good, we're good. We're never gonna bring it up again." And then, like, later in the episode, they're like, "No, I can't believe you did this." And I was like, "I thought you guys squashed it like 10 times already," but
Exactly. Well,
the
he is
producers
on
are like in
coke.
their ear. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or they bring
What
it
a
up in the
crazy job.
confession.
Oh my gosh. And you know what's crazy is I feel like the last episodes of their shows are always like they end pretty well and then the confessions come on and then it's like you said this on Twitter and your husband did this and it's like it just all goes like out of control because I'm like, "Oh, it ended so nicely. The reunion will be good." And then it's like, "No." It's not.
Well, you know what's interesting? Like sometimes, like I think as they watch the series with us, they react now on social media instead of it just being done or waiting until the reunion. So there's like all that added drama of like Twitter and social media and la 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 and yeah, it's just a lot. But I
Yeah,
love
I
it.
can't even oh, I do too. I like it's definitely one of my guilty pleasures, like that, and then any like type of dating show. Like at Christmas, there was one called like 12 Dates of Christmas, I think,
Oh,
that it was like okay. Like I feel like all the dating shows now, it's like always like the same thing. So it's like, I don't know. And then you
The
can like
Bachelor.
Google who yeah, The Bachelor, Love Island, and like you know who they're gonna end up with, but you still like have to watch because it's always just like crazy drama, which luckily I feel like I feel like it's so interesting for me because my life is, like, so far from, like,
Yes.
these women's lives, and I'm like, luckily, but, like, you just can't, like, look away, like, I don't know, I love it.
That's what I told, like, my coworkers at first couldn't believe that I love drama TV shows because they were like, "You're just not that person," and I'm like, "I know I'm not, and therefore I need them to provide the drama for me to live
Mhm.
vicariously through them because my life is nothing like that,
Right?
um, at all." But I love the Real Housewives of Atlanta and Nene and, oh, so good, so good.
So good, and I feel like it's like a, Starseed too, like, don't you kinda get, like, a little bit, like, of a vibe, like, where you're kind of like an observer of, like, this whole, like, Earth civilization and, like, human species, so to, like, watch, like, reality TV show, I feel like I'm like Jane Goodall, like, but, like, in bed with, like, a tea or something, like, vegging out, like, not doing anything, but, like, I'm like, "No, I'm, like, researching."
It's so interesting. Yeah. It's interesting because, and I can really relate to what you just said. Like, not to get too like what's the word? Distant, but like sometimes I do feel like, okay, they're so like attached to this existence today, right now, who they are, their money, their status, their ego, they're so attached to this life. It's interesting to watch for me because I don't feel that way 100%. Like I'm attached to my personality, to my family, of course, and to, Earth, but like I know this isn't it, so I'm not like overly attached, I think, in a weird
Mhm.
way. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely, like, a disconnect, and I feel like you explained it, like, perfectly, like, we just, like, aren't as attached, so for us, like, when drama happens, we're just, like we it's not as great of a part of us, so we can just kinda, like, distance ourselves from it. But, like, some people, it's like them, and, like,
Yes.
it's
Like
crazy.
on the Real Housewives of Potomac, one, and this might be controversial for some people who watch this, but one housewife in particular, Monique, sometimes she does bring up her wealth quite a bit. And this particular season I'm watching, in like regards to compared to another person who's not as wealthy. And it's just like, I don't want to say it's sad, but it's so interesting to see how like attached she is and how much that having money boosts her as a human being. You could tell it adds so much value to her. And to be fair to all of them, but especially to her. And it's just like for me, it's so foreign and such a weird way to base your value on as like a soul, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely how I feel, like that, or, like, I feel like when people, like, insult them, like, more on,
Hmm.
like, reality TV about, like, their hair and stuff, and, like, I just can't even, like, I don't know, like
Can't relate.
yeah, at all, like and, like, I don't know, it's just yeah, it's very foreign, but it's so interesting, just, like, what we, like, choose to, like, base our existence on.
Yeah. I have been watching quite a lot of, in addition to reality TV, um, sort of TikToks, but like on Instagram because that's really my habitat. I'm not a Gen Z, I'm millennial. So I'm still on Instagram and I love to watch the reels. And what's really interesting is like how all of these really young women, no matter what they look like, whether they're the traditional beauty or not, are just putting themselves out there. And for some reason, it feels more empowering to see them do it than it has to see other women do it in the past. Because I do feel like even amongst millennials, like still like the people you cared about were the most beautiful or the most like cliche beauty or whatever. Whereas these girls are like different, some of them. Obviously, a lot of the most popular ones are like the classic beauties, whatever that means. But like there are girls who are just like regular and they're just like, look at my butt. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I love it. It just makes
Dude,
me
that's
want to show
awesome.
off thirst trap photos. I love it.
Yeah. Dude, that is something that I've noticed too, not so much on Instagram, but, like, on YouTube, like, a lot of, like, the videos that pop up for me are definitely people that would not be, like, traditional, like, beauty, like, 10 years ago, where I feel like
How would
because like
Tyra describe them?
yeah, right? Like
How would she describe them? You're like
And then Tyra's like perfect, and then like handing them their photo too. And it's just like
she looks like a doll, but anyway.
she's always like such a Barbie. Um, but yeah, it is cool to like see just like all these people, like you said, just totally embracing themselves and putting themselves out there and like no makeup. And then, like you read the comments and people are like, oh wow, you're so beautiful and all this
Yeah,
stuff. And I'm like, it's awesome to see, like, just because I feel like we were in like the standard of beauty was so fake like 10 years ago or 15, but definitely like 10 years ago. I feel like it was all like tan and big fake boobs and fake blonde hair. Or whenever the Hills came out, I feel like that was definitely like that
that's
look.
so true.
And like now it's like people are just like, no, it's like you don't need to like fry your hair and get fake boobs and or I mean like if you do like whatever, but like you don't like have to.
Well, before the Kardashians, the blonde was like the ideal beauty,
Mhm.
like big boobs, and it wasn't even butt, it was boobs. And
Mhm.
like not even like an athletic figure. Like I feel like athletic figures are kind of more in right now. Or like the more exaggerated like plastic surgery figure, but like back then it was just like skinny, like that's it,
Mhm.
just really skinny. Paris Hilton is like the icon of the early 2000s in my opinion. Like she was the 2000s.
That and do you remember that old Jenna Marbles video? Like one of the ones that like made her famous where she's like how to look good looking when you're not or something and like her hair is like fried and she has tons of makeup on, but in there she's like talking, she's like, yeah, you gotta like bleach your hair and stuff. And that's just what I feel like. And then she's like, and then you gotta tan. But I feel like that is so like that age. And it's
Totally.
interesting that she has a like parody like skit to just encompass all of it. Like, I don't know, if people want to know what was popular then, just like watch that old video.
I have to see that video.
Oh, do you not know which one I'm talking about?
Mm-mm. I thought I
It was
did, but I don't think so.
it was like one of her I'll send it to you, but if I think if you go on if she still has a page, it's like one of the popular ones. So that was the first time I like saw a video of hers. And my friends are like, "Oh, check this out. It's so funny." Um,
Oh my gosh, I have to see that. Yeah.
yeah, back when like YouTube wasn't even really a thing, which is like crazy to think about too.
Well, I just watched a video from my Dolans. I love the Dolan
Mm.
twins. And they just explained why they're quitting YouTube. And I'm just so hurt. They're still going to do their YouTube podcast series, but they're not going to be making the same type of content they've been making basically since they were 15. So
Oh,
I know, I love them.
dude,
Oh,
they're beautiful human beings. And
they're
there's two
just,
of them.
yeah. And, it's interesting because when I think I just found the video, you're how to trick people into thinking you're good looking, or is
Mhm.
it
Yeah, I think that's it. And then she does another one that's like how to do my makeup drunk, but I think the trick people into being good looking is like the first one.
okay?
But
Okay, I
yeah,
have
she's
to
like
see.
really tan and has lots of like makeup on and stuff.
Exactly. Um, no, but yeah, what were we just saying?
Oh,
Oh
the
yes, the
Dolans.
Dolans.
Yeah.
I freaking love them. If you didn't know, they're just my people. Like I just think they're so funny. But like you could tell in like their last video because I follow them, like the excitement wasn't there. Like that light in your eyes when you're lit up by something. You could just tell it wasn't there for them in the last like video or two. So I kind of knew something was going to change.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Dude,
I'm happy.
new moon. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. New moon. Yeah.
New moon, new direction. They're like, all right, we got to change it up.
Yeah. You're so right. Um, Speaking of new moon, I've been meaning to like relook at like those resolutions I actually made or goals, light goals that I made for the year. Cause I don't think I've started on like a few. I'm, s- I'm still like trying to find my way here.
Dude, I feel like coming back and like getting everything ready for work is like a lot. Like after you have a break, and it really, I feel like I don't know if I ever noticed it as much before, but I feel like now just trying to get everything like together and like going and back on schedule has been really tough this year for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, even just doing the basic things, like keeping my room clean, which is it's not. But what else is new?
Yeah, mine's not either.
Yeah, I need doing my laundry, like it all feels like really hectic. But I do think that at night sometimes I can like maybe relax on how much reality TV I watch and like actually, do some stuff that needs to get done because sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm too tired to do my laundry. So I'm gonna watch 2 or 3 hours of like say yes to the dress and I can't be bothered with laundry. And sometimes that's true and sometimes it's really not. So yeah.
Dude, same. But I feel like sitting in bed and watching TV is like preparing me to go to sleep. Like that's my like rationale in my head. I'm like, oh no, I'm just like I'm like too tired to do anything else, but I'm like, it's like the process of going to sleep.
Yeah.
But I've been saying I'm gonna like change it, but it's like I don't know why, but I've been having trouble. I've been like so tired, but like too tired to sleep, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Interesting.
And I've been reading about, have you heard of I'm probably gonna say it wrong, but kratom, or wait, Kratom. Like they sell it with CBD at those stores, but
Oh,
like they have all different kinds, like, and supposedly there's some that like help you sleep, some that keep you awake. Um, so I don't know, I'm gonna check it out this week. Like there's like a store near me, so I'm gonna go and like talk to them and just be like, what do you recommend?
yeah, let me know because I've definitely heard of it. Like it took me a second. I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
Um,
probably saying it wrong. That's why I was like, "Oh, I know I'm gonna say it wrong." And then in my head I said C, but yeah, it's like with a K.
yeah, it's like Kratom, something, something.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm excited to try it because I think it's a little more affordable than the CBD I like, so I'm like, "That would be
Mm,
good."
mm. CBD is another thing that gives me that like warm blanket feeling sometimes. I'm just like, yeah, CBD.
Right? I feel like I can be so stressed out and then take the CBD and then, like you said, warm, like, it just feels like a hug from the universe. It's like, "It's okay."
Yeah, and I'm not even like particularly stressed that much. I'm being very gentle with myself this year. I'll tell you that. Like I'm not meeting deadlines. The world is not going to stop. The world is not going to end. I'm not going to die. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? If it means like within reason, if it means like I get to go to sleep on time, if it means like I have peace of mind, fine. You know what I'm saying? Um that's just where I am with some things right now.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. And I don't know, I'm not necessarily stressed, but I am feeling like I really want to book a room because I don't have a tub really. I need to take a hot bath and I need a massage. Like I think next month is my birthday, so I'll probably hold off until then. But like, yeah, those are two things on my list that are like needs, like not even like negotiable.
Dude, that sounds awesome. Just like a birthday weekend to just like rejuvenate and relax and yeah, just take time for yourself.
And it's so weird because I don't even think it's related to age at all for me anyway, but I'm not even interested in really like drinking. Like I already know what restaurant I want to go to eat. I just want to like eat, hang out with friends, laugh, get a massage, go to sleep. Like I just want to relax.
Dude, right? I feel like it's just like indicative of like where you are in life. Like my sister and I say that all the time. We're like, because we would see people like posting stuff on like their like Instagrams, and we would just be like, we just don't even want to do anything. Or like bachelorette parties. I'm like, the whole idea just seems so stressful. Like, I just want to like have a spa day,
Yeah.
like get like a facial and go to bed, like fall asleep in a hotel bed and sleep in, get room service, and then go home.
Yeah. And it's like it's not that I don't feel like having a drink sometimes or like even going to parties and like really like turning up, but like I just on my birthday and we have the solar return timing thing that I need to find
Mhm.
out. it just feels like sacred time that I should just enjoy with myself versus like not remembering what happened or not fully being in my body because I'm drunk. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you can celebrate your birthday like that, like, the weekend before or after, but, like, on the
Yeah.
actual birthday, it's like ever since I learned about the solar return, I was like, "Oh, I need to, like, be better about this," for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not even like, I don't know. Lately I haven't even like really been interested in like being drunk. Is that weird?
No, not at all. I feel like that's, definitely what happened to me, like, I feel like I used to, like, party a lot when I was younger, and then it just kinda got to the point where, at least for me, I was, like, only the only times I was, like, really, like, drinking and stuff was, like, when I was going out with guys, and I was like,
Mm,
"This is so stupid." If it's, like, someone I actually should be dating, I should be able to, like, hang out with them and, like, just talk and, like, do stuff instead of just, like, only going to the bar, and I don't know, that's at least, like, where I was, like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes it's still, like, fun, like, with, like, your girlfriends or, like, family stuff, but, like, the majority of times I was, like, going out was just on dates, and I was like, "This is stupid. We can go on a date anywhere. We don't have to go to a bar."
yeah. Well, let me ask you this question because
Yeah.
I spoke to a friend about this and this is very mundane, like whatever. So like if people want to like skip to the starseed stuff by all means. Well, please do, but like so one of my a singer I really like, her voice is so beautiful. Her name is Jasmine Sullivan. She has like such a soulful voice. Recently came out with her album. I think it's called Ho Tales. And she doesn't spell it like Houe, she spells it like Heauxes, something like that.
Yeah.
Hotel, you know? And it's really interesting because I haven't listened to the entire album. I've only listened to songs here or there, but it's like different women sort of commenting on like, or it seems to be like their experiences with like not, I guess, being a hoe, but doing behaviors that some might consider that, I guess, or not appropriate for women. So, one interlude, someone's talking about having a man like if he wants to show his interest in her, he needs to like pay her bills and like do certain things. You know what I'm saying? And my friend was like, you know, I've never thought about like dating a guy and expecting him to do certain things and like other people felt like otherwise and I was just wondering like what your stance is on like people paying for your meal and like stuff like
I
that.
think well, I think it's definitely changed as I have gotten older, um, and partly it's probably because I listened to the She-Ra 7, the lady we love on YouTube, and I feel like she has a very, like, firm stance, but I
Oh
feel like
yes. Oh god, yes. I remember. Okay, for a second I was like, wait, who? And then I was like, her. She's
she's
interesting.
oh my gosh, I love everything that comes out of her mouth. Um,
And she doesn't care anyway.
Dude, at all. Oh my gosh, and I love, like, when people, like, troll on her too. She's just, like, sitting in her, like, beautiful house with her beautiful kids and, like, her nice husband, and, like,
Her
she's just,
nails.
like yeah, her nails and then, like, her hair and everything, and she's just like, "Okay, next." Like, she just, like, doesn't care at all.
Nope.
Um, but I feel like I was much more into having things equal when I was younger, and I think just and it might just be because my past boyfriend or relationship was, just I feel like off balance, and I feel like he would ask me to pay like, buy things, and, um, it just seemed like it was more, like, focused on money, and then when I've dated other guys that were older and, like, I've unfortunately never had anyone just, like, pay my bills and stuff, but, like, I feel like for me, it just feels more like you're dating a man when they just, cover your dinner, and I don't even think well, and that's, like, a very like, and I know relationships aren't like it doesn't have to be, like, manly, like, I don't need to be like that, but, like, I, um I just feel like when they're more secure and they want to take care of you, that's something that I want. Well, not even take care of it. I feel like it's just the fact that they want to spend their money on you shows a lot, or like goes further for me now than it used to. Like I feel like when I used to, I was like, "Oh no, we're like equal. We can like split everything." But then I would see like I was paying for something and they wouldn't be like, and this is more than one ex-boyfriend, and they would just spend their money on, and it's like whatever, they can spend their money on whatever, but it just seemed like what they were putting their money towards was more of a priority than me in their life. And I'm not saying that's not the only way to do it, but it's one way that a partner can show you that you are more of a priority than maybe mountain biking or galas or concerts. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so I feel like if you're at a priority, then that's good. But if they're spending all of their money on things that aren't you, then that could be a red flag.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like weird having these conversations because sometimes you have the PC police come to patrol and like tell you how you should think about these things, but I appreciate like people just being honest about their experience and how they now feel. I think I wanted to prove that like I wasn't interested in, and I because I'm not a user at all. I'm not interested in using anyone. I have no problem paying my way or just being independent. But I true like with time, and I don't know if it's with age, but just with time, have learned to allow men to show me that I am a priority if I am. And um I think it's for the better, to be honest. To like in my experience, when a guy really likes you, and that's another thing, like it's been helpful to like really value myself too also in this process because it weeds out naturally the guys who are like really interested and the guys who aren't. And that's not to say, to your point, like they're only that's the only way to show that you're interested. It's certainly not, but it is a way. And so like, yeah, if you want me to come see you, like get the Uber. you know
Yeah.
you want me to come
What?
out to eat, are you buying me dinner? Like, sorry, god.
Oh no, I was just, yeah, because I feel like it, like, 'cause, yeah, you can't just flat out and say like, oh, it's just to like buy me things, because that's not what it's about. It's like about making you a priority and like showing you and doing things that show you that, instead of just like, oh, sorry, I can't like um do something tonight because I'm like hanging out with like my friends or doing all this stuff. Or I spent all my money. Yeah, I spent all my money with my friends. And it's like, yeah, it's good to do stuff with your friends, but like we gotta, I wanna be at the top of the rank. And not all the time, but like I wanna be up there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would prefer to be there most of the time, to be honest.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
it does feel better to have some sort of standard in that way versus not to. Because, like I said before, it was like when there was no bar, it was hard for me to know personally who was really in it and who wasn't, if that makes sense. And now that there is some sort of something, I mean, you can clearly see like who really thinks you're valuable and who will do what they can to show you that. And like I've had a guy like and we weren't even serious, just casual. He was like, I really want you to hang out with me. And I was like, I'm not. I have to work tomorrow. I need to like change clothes and la 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 la. And he was just like, no problem. I'll get you dinner. I'll get you a change of clothes. Like, it's like I'll get you home. It's just like I'll get you to work and I'll make sure you get there safe. And it's just like, okay, well, now we're talking about something.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like interesting, like, because also in my early 20s, I felt like it wasn't just about proving my independence, but it was also like not knowing what was okay to ask for and what wasn't, especially like post feminism. Like, and I'm a feminist, by the way. Sorry for people who don't like love that label, but I have no problem with the label. um, and I mean intersectional feminist, so I am for trans women too. Hey, but anyway, yeah. So like as a feminist, it's like hard because sometimes you don't know what you can ask for, but like I don't know. I say ask for some.
And I feel like when you were younger, did I like, at least for me, I felt like if I let them buy me buy me dinner or like do a lot of nice things for me or like financially that I would like owe them. So I feel like I never
Yes.
wanted that. And I was like, because I
Yes.
don't ever be the one that's like, oh, well, you owe me like sexual favors or hanging out or just, anything, or you owe me money later. So I feel like that was a thing. But yeah, the older I get, the more I'm just like, there's billions of people on the planet. If like one per and again, it's not about the money. It's like and just having
No.
people put forth effort. Like,
Yeah.
and if they don't want to put forth effort, there's somebody else that can put forth effort.
There should be an exchange, is what I've learned, actually, for
Mhm.
me. There should be, actually. This, like, you giving, because otherwise, I've found as a woman, I give so much. And if there is no exchange, then I just end up giving, 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 and like wondering why there's no reciprocity. So I don't know.
Exactly. I think that's a good way to put it is, yeah, energy exchange.
It is an energy exchange. And it's not about, like you said, sexual favors for something, but it is like my time, my energy, if
Mhm.
I'm valuable to you, like show it. Like my coworker told me that her mom told her that when you're young as a woman, this is really the time to be wined and dined. And at first I was like, ew, like why would she say that? Like we're equal, like whatever. But actually I kind of agree because you're never going to be as young, and women are just valued for their looks. It just is what it is in Western society. So you're never going to be as young and as beautiful as you are today. So you might as well
Yeah,
make them
exactly.
work.
Like, yeah, and like I feel like goddess energy is so sacred that like, and
Yes.
yeah, it would like I mean just like any energy too. Like, but yeah, it's like for people to be and like, especially if you take a lot of pride in like keeping your energy up and um
Yes.
whatever, like yeah, I feel like they need to like honor that as well, like not just like, oh, I spend so much time keeping my energy clean and stuff, and then they just like have their negative vibes and stuff all over it. Like, gotta keep it gotta keep it clean, gotta keep it sacred.
Yeah, and to your point, like have high standards. I also think though another reason why things were different when I was younger is because obviously in college, if you're dating someone like in the same similar situation as you or a similar one, then you probably are both broke. So I was okay with like us like splitting most things because I mean, college, if you're going to school full time, you're working part time. I don't know many people who are doing both full time work and full time school. Hats off to you if you are doing that. That's incredible. But most people weren't balling, you know?
Yeah.
So that's another difference. Whereas today, now that I'm like at a certain point, the people I date, I expect to be at a certain point, and if you're at that point, you should be able to like take me out.
Yeah, exactly, like and we don't have to go to, like, Nobu,
No.
like, just, like, normal or, like, cook for me, like, you can get, like, a
Yes.
HelloFresh delivery and, like, cook for it, but it's, like, still, like you said, like, the energy exchange, like, "I'm doing this because I want to hang out with you and I appreciate you being here."
Yeah, I think my friend was being a little like I love her to pieces and I respect her opinion. If she just thinks it's wrong to have any type of exchange for your time, then that's totally cool too for you, if that perspective works for her. But I think she was being a little too literal, like I'm taking you out, like you know what I'm saying? Like what we were saying before, like taking you out means you have to have sex with them. And if you have sex with them, then you're expecting them to like do all this stuff for you. And I was just like, no, I don't think it's like that literal, at least not for everyone, maybe for
Yeah,
some,
yeah.
which is
Yeah, it
fine.
doesn't have to be, yeah,
Yeah.
unless you want it to be, yeah.
Because another thing we don't talk about a lot is like sometimes it sounds like very usury, but like there has to be consent on all sides, right? So if someone's paying your bills in exchange for something, I don't think either party should feel bad or like be looked down upon if they're both cool with that. That's just
Yeah, exactly, like, yeah, as long as it's what people want, then go for it.
yes. So hotels. I don't
Yes.
know if we're considered hoes, but whatever. I don't care. It's all good.
What was her name again? Jasmine what?
Sullivan.
I'm gonna check her
She has
out.
like such a soulful voice, and she did this live version of this song called Pick Up Your Feelings that I loved. There's like plants all around her on YouTube. And then she did another live version of Lost One. And she just sounds so good and soulful. And I just love her. I can't wait to listen to her on a train on my way to Manhattan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Do you guys still have snow up there?
No snow here in New York. It is chilly. I keep going like this because I'm pretty
Oh.
cold. It's all good. Um, but yeah, no snow. What about you?
Oh, no, not at all. Actually, it's warming up, like, in South Carolina, it never gets, like, too cold, but
Yeah.
I feel like yeah, I walked by some trees the other day that already had, like, their buds out, like, definitely not, like, blooming, but we're like, "Dude, wow," it's like if they already have the buds, then it means the flowers are coming soon, so we probably won't get any this year,
Mm,
but I love snow. I love, like, watching people's videos in the snow. It just looks so, like, peaceful and relaxing.
yeah. I miss snow. I haven't seen it in quite some time actually. Not since December. So, and like literally when I was a kid, there was just so much snow, like snowstorms. I remember. We live on a very different planet than we did
Yeah, right?
20 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's so yeah, even my dad's family lives in Illinois, and I feel like they always have snow, like, October, November till, like, February, March, and, like, they don't have snow right now either, which is, like, really weird. Because I
Yeah.
just remember as, like, kids, it always was just so cold and so much snow, and I had a friend one time that was in Chicago, and he was like, "Oh, it's, like, -40 degrees," and I was like, I thought it was cold, like, on the East Coast, but dude, that Lake Michigan all gets cold.
Hmm.
But yeah, they don't even have snow, so I'm like, "What's going on?"
By the way, your video quality is like really good.
"Oh, thanks."
Yeah, I'm like, she looks like HD. Why do I look grainy? I don't know why. You look so good.
Oh, yeah, this is my iPhone 8.
Okay, so there we go. There's the reason. iPhone
Aw.
8.
Yeah, for some reason, I feel like the computer cameras aren't, like, as good quality, even if it's, like, the same year as the iPhone. They just who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Damn computer. I don't really care that much.
I know, right? I'm
Whatever. Um, what else is new?
Oh, well, let me grab my oh, I didn't bring it in here. But I'll tell you about the, Billy Carson workshop real quick.
Mm,
S so, it was so good. He talked from noon till 8:08 PM, and at the end, he was like, "Alright, guys, I gotta go because I just don't have a voice." And I was like, "Billy Carson, you are so sweet." It was supposed to end at 6, so he went over by 2 hours,
wow.
and, I told you afterwards, I was just, like, so drained because I feel like every single, like, thing that came out of his mouth was, like, super, important. Like, he talked about, yeah, he, like, brought up, like, quantum physics and how, like, um, what we think, like, becomes our reality, and he, also talked about how a lot of trauma and, I guess just kind of any like dis-ease in our bodies can come from past generations. He was saying that like your genes carry memories for and I guess this experiment they showed was like 20 generations and I was like that's insane
Hmm.
because like everyone definitely has had some sort of trauma within 20 generations like whether it be like burning at the stake or
Rape.
um yeah or like war, like,
Yep.
just crazy. And, Yeah, and then he was also talking about, so I learned the physics word for this is called superposition, but it's, because I would always tell everyone, I was like, "Well, there's, like, infinite amount of, like, realities and possibilities," but, so superposition is, um, like, if you're on this side and then you wanna get to this side, like, it's, like regular like waves can go through this, but because they're not at the vibration, like they don't, like my finger stays here and if it tries to go through it like stops. But I guess superposition would be like the one instance where it could like match this frequency and then go out the other side. Um so that was and I'm probably not explaining that perfectly, but um I don't know. I was like, oh, and I like that word too, like superposition. Like
Mhm.
we all just gotta find our superpositions. Um, and yeah, I'll have to send you the link. He sent like a bunch of, I guess now I'm like subscribed to his like forbidden knowledge, like some type of, I guess his website, people like can leave comments and stuff. So I
Mhm.
feel like I get like a ton of emails from them every day now, but I'll have to send you like the video because like they sent out like a trial to the TV, but they were like gonna edit the video and then upload it. But um yeah, just so many manifesting techniques. Like he did one called the double water glass technique. Have you heard about that one?
I think so.
Yeah, I feel like I like said that to other people and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know about that." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know about it till Saturday." Um
It's when you
that
do a quantum leap by pouring the water into the yeah?
mhm. Yeah, and he said like while you're doing it, like imagine all of our like thought forms as like light waves and like so the ones that you don't want in your life, like imagine like them visually like leaping out of your head and then imagine the good ones like coming into your brain like as you're drinking the water. um and he also talked about uh this Egyptian goddess named Mayat. It's spelled Maat. But she has like 42 ideals. So if you just Google that, he said to do those, like say them 3 times a day and for like 3 weeks. And he said your like life will change. But they're kind of just like, do you know the Reiki precepts that are like just for today, I like won't be angry and I'll honor my elders and stuff. So it's just like that, but like I guess more like broken out. The Reiki ones are very concise.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry for like talking all the time, but Billy Carson is always he's just so amazing. Like I feel like if anybody doesn't know who Billy Carson is, definitely check out his YouTube channel. It's Forbidden Knowledge, but it's with the number 4. Um, it's just like everything he says is just like amazing. And he doesn't even have to say anything amazing. He's just like he has a very like high vibe for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have to, right?
Yeah.
To achieve the things he's achieved, you cannot be, like, gossipy or I know we are just talking about the housewives, but you can't be on that level of frequency. You have to be way higher, so I'm not surprised, and, like, it's just so interesting when you were just talking about that water technique because I haven't thought about it in, like, years because I never actually did it, but, um, had heard about it, but, like, it's just interesting how simple it is actually to like release and like not that therapy isn't important. Um Really important and super useful and actually quite necessary for some people, maybe even a lot of people, but like it actually is not that difficult to heal yourself also in some cases and within reason and how simple it is to just like literally imagine things leaving and imagine what you want coming and seeing how your life changed by just focusing on that. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. The mind is so crazy, like, powerful.
Yeah, and it's so crazy too. Oh, I was gonna tell you I watched I only watched one episode, but of that Netflix show you were telling me about.
Which
Um
one?
the where they the near death experiences.
Oh, yes, Surviving Death.
Yeah, because in there they, like, talk about how, like, the brain, like, it, like, shuts down and, um yeah, but then these people are still have these, like, crazy experiences and stuff.
I wonder why.
Yeah, right?
Because we don't
I
die.
it was so funny how because I feel like or at least the one episode I watched, it was, like, mostly it's, like, sad to me how some people have, like, no concept of it until they have the near-death experience, which is, like, so good that they had the experience because 'cause I'm like, it really, like, opened their minds, but I feel like if you and I did it, we would just be like, "Alright, next one," like like, "Can we get another?"
Ooh,
Um
well, I don't want a near-death experience, but I
Oh,
would
yeah.
love an experience with my guides. Don't kill me, thank you.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, not the physical part, but, like, the mental, like
Yeah, like the mental it would still be, like, incredibly confirming. So you watched, like, the first episode?
I didn't watch all the way through, but
Okay.
I watched, I definitely saw the doctor woman that you were talking about, and, um,
So interesting.
yeah,
She was
and
dead.
hers is so crazy, like, she's like, "Oh, yeah, there's, like, an ambulance out in the middle of, like, the rainforest," and
What was it, like, the early '90s?
Mhm.
Yeah. She was just meant to come back. That's just what it was.
Yeah, so crazy.
It is, and there's just so much we don't know just because we don't see it, and therefore we don't believe it. Most people anyway, not us.
Yeah.
That would be most people. Um, but yeah, like, sometimes people talk to me about things and not to sound this sounds way too egoic, but I'm just whatever,
Yeah, go
I'll
with
just
it,
say
yeah.
it. But because you and I are so deep within this, like, I think they think they're saying something profound to me, but for me, it's just a truth that I live with. So it's not it's just is, you know what I'm saying? Versus like this like new idea. Like, I don't know. That sounds so like, oh, like I'm not saying I'm high and mighty at all, but I don't know.
Well, it's funny because I feel like I, like, caught a little bit of that, like, in the show, and I definitely know exactly what you're talking about, like, people well, and the bad thing is I feel or not bad, but, like, I've had people and they're, like, so excited to share with you this one, like, profound thing that they've been thinking for years, and I'm just like, "Oh." And, like, you try to and you're like, "I mean, like, it's interesting, but, like, I don't know." And then I feel like too, especially with, like, these, like, profound things, like, everyone kind of is on a different wavelength, so, like, you can, like, understand it, but also, like, you might not believe it, but you can't, like, tell them that because 'cause they're just, like, so excited about it, and you're just like, "Okay."
Yeah,
You're like, "Oh, that's so
totally.
cool." And then you, like, wanna talk about something else.
100%.
But yeah, I brought up that show, like, I totally changed the topic, but because they were talking about, like, the brain and, like, how, like, powerful these experiences are, like, through consciousness, through the mind.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. And, I love shows like that because it's interesting to see how science starts to confirm some of the things that we experience or maybe intuitively know already. So, yeah, it's really incredible and really profound. So, I recommend that show, highly recommend. Go see it. Go see it. Surviving Death. Um, what else was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else, but I completely forgot. I don't know why.
Oh.
Never mind. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's probably my fault because I, like, switched. I was like, "Oh, yeah, the brain."
No, it's fine. Um, yeah. Oh my gosh, we were talking, my coworkers and I a lot because we did like company-wide retreats this week, and we're gonna be doing more tomorrow. And asked, we were talking a lot about the generational differences between us, because there's like four different generations that work within my company: X, Gen Z, um, millennials, and boomers. So I had asked this boomer about like cancel culture and PC culture and how she felt about it. And of course, she gave me a super PC answer, but it was all good. She was so cute. She was just like, you know, I know I brought up this example of a single mom, and I realized she grew up in a single household, and I'm so sorry. And I was just like, oh my God, we were just talking about this. You don't have to apologize. It's fine. Like, I can self regulate myself. It's all good. So I thought that was really interesting because um, sometimes people, like my coworker brought up a really great point about cancel culture and how sometimes the people who really need to take accountability are the main ones complaining about it. And I thought that was a really great point. At the same time, I don't want to pretend like it doesn't exist. Like, to me it does. And like the only example, like relevant example I could think of was like with comedians who've been around since like the 2000s, who may have said things that were like 100% acceptable then, like about your mother-in-law, about women, about rape, about like gay people, 100% acceptable in 2002 or 3 or 4 or whatever. But today, like, hell no. And yes, that's great, it's progress, but does it make sense to like automatically cancel people because of a joke that the entire nation for the most part was on board with like 20 years ago? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I tend to like really prefer to just judge people with where they are today, you know what I'm saying? Versus like ending their careers for like that thing they said in 2005 when it was actually okay to say that. So I don't know.
Yeah, that is interesting, like, and I definitely agree. I feel like, sometimes we have taken things, like, too far in the cancel culture, but, like, and it is important to see where the people are, and, like, if they have grown, then it's like you said, like, is it worth, like, canceling their career when they've, like, put in the self-work and, like, realized, what's appropriate and what's not appropriate, and just realized why what they said, like, wasn't important. Um, and I feel like you can just tell in people's apologies too, like, if the apology seems genuine, or, like, the worst though are the people that do the, like, fake, well, and I guess who am I to say that it's fake, but the ones that seem just, like, very, like, inauthentic, and, like, they're
Me.
just reading off a teleprompter, and yeah,
Hmm.
and you're just like, "Alright, you should probably take some time and, like like, figure out why everyone is mad at you." But, like, the people that, like, actually are, like, upset and like, apologetic, like, we probably don't need to, like, cancel their career and, like, ruin their lives.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And it doesn't mean like they don't take accountability, of course. And obviously, because you said that thing 15 years ago and it doesn't go away because the internet, it doesn't mean that you don't lose out on certain opportunities. That's also a reality. But cancel, like, completely, like, I don't, you know, but that's just like a specific example that I brought up for like comedians. Of course, there are other people who haven't changed at all,
yeah.
like politicians, like
That's exactly where my
literally,
mind went too.
literally, people hold office for freaking years. And it's kind of crazy. They need to get the hell out. We need fresh meat.
Well, and especially too, I, like, didn't even realize till I lived there, but, like, DC is such a bubble, like, I remember I moved there, and a lot of people I spoke with, who'd lived there throughout the financial crisis were like, "Oh, well, DC's about we didn't have a financial crisis. That's like the best part about being in DC, because everyone has government jobs. So like there's never a downturn." And I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "The whole rest of the country is suffering, and then you guys that are in charge of making the laws." Like, so I think it would be good for them to just like step outside the bubble, like, maybe go back, maybe you could get reelected later, but, like, you gotta leave the DC, like, bubble every now and then, just to, like, see the people you're supposed to be helping, like, I don't know. DC is a crazy place.
So much of this no longer makes sense, I think, today. And maybe I shouldn't say that because I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm a expert in like political science or whatever the hell. I'm not going to do that, but it's just clear that the system isn't like working for the vast majority of us. and something really needs to change, or a few things need to change actually. I think I was just talking to someone very briefly because apparently I can't, like, one on one, I can't just have like a cash combo with my coworkers. I'm always like, the criminal justice system is wrong. Like the fact that we make money off of inmates is wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but
But yeah, like things need to go. And it's so fun because we are the harbingers of the new.
yes, and Age of Aquarius
Finally,
too. It's all about like
finally.
new builds. Yeah, like
Yeah. Like
yeah, the yeah.
like the things that people are starting to get into now, like we've always known, like color therapy, like the things that they used to laugh at before. It's like, yeah, color therapy, color affects your mood and can affect your perception, and yeah, can even affect your manifesting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's using water to like manifest, talking to the elements, acknowledging the earth. Like these things that for so long were like hippy dippy and weird, I think are about to be really interesting and important.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like crazy too, like how far like all that stuff has come, and even like medically, like I don't know, like I used to get ketamine treatments for like depression and anxiety, and um which are like super helpful. But it's as I feel like all psychedelics are, but but like how that is like legal now is amazing, and how CBD is legal like is amazing. And I feel like you said, all these other things, like I guess they're not illegal, but I feel like pretty soon, like the science is going to like back them up, like how they're starting to like just like the science community is like, oh yeah, there's like tons of benefits from taking CBD, like it should be legal. And um yeah, I just think it's cool that like now as like they become more mainstream, I feel like soon like science will be like, oh yeah, no, like they're beneficial too. And it'll just be like taking well, instead of taking a Tylenol, people will be like, no, just like listen to some frequencies, like say some alms, meditate, like like there will be no Tylenol, which will be like insane but
Or it'll
awesome.
be like a lot less priority. Like there'll be so many other protocols, teas, frequencies, music, like meditation. There'll be so many other things that people go to first before they go to the Tylenol, you know? I think that's the
Yeah.
goal.
Mm-hmm. Or like they'll walk into like instead of Walgreens selling like pills and stuff, they'll have like crystals and flower essences and like herbs. Like, wouldn't that be just like the coolest? Like, replace Walgreens with like witch shops.
It would be interesting. It really would. And I know like some people are like I talked a guy I dated in the past would tell me how flower essences was just like, magic water and like it's placebo. And I think in a lot of ways that might be true, but so is a lot of sorry, there's like noise.
Oh,
So
you're
are a
good.
lot
Yeah.
of apparently so are a lot of surgeries actually. It relies on the placebo, like that's how it works actually. Like so obviously some people do need surgery for very specific reasons, but it's like a crazy number of surgeries actually work because you believe it will. And if you don't believe me, you
Dude,
should look
that's
it up.
crazy. Yeah.
I challenge you to look this up because the research is out there. So just FYI. So that's why I'm saying this, because it's like, why do we discount the placebo anyway? Like if you just told me that just thinking that in your mind about that water manifestation trick can actually bring you closer to your goal, or make you manifest something, or make you act in a certain way that brings you closer to your goal, why do people disregard that as like I don't understand that, you know what I'm saying? um
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Well, I think it's just like sad, but I also think it's just like maybe they're just like not ready for it.
yeah,
Like, um, I feel like it's crazy to think that we have been like, I guess how people say like awake as like star seeds for so long. Cause I feel like I'm like seeing now people are like talking about like people are like waking up as we move into the age of Aquarius. And it's just like, it's hard for me to step back and be like, oh, what was it like 20 years ago? You know what I'm saying? Like, or like for me, like, because it's just it's been so long, but it's like it's cool when people like start waking up, you know? Like it's I don't know, it's like a weird dichotomy where it's like I can't really it's like hard for me to like go back that far, but it's also like really cool that they're like there, you know?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense, actually. It makes a lot of sense. And it's just weird that we have this like natural inclination for this stuff, like literally since childhood.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, I guess I was like, "Oh," the word I was looking for was like, we just like take it for granted that we've always not always, but we've been like this for so long, but like, um, yeah, it's cool that other people are like catching up and we're not like in the closet, like Googling, "Do crystals work?" or, you know, like, or "Buy all
Well,
the crystals I can afford."
it's cool that people don't look at us like weird in a lot of circles, not most, but maybe just a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like when I talk about astrology or crystals or whatever, like even if they're not into it, people are, but they're not necessarily looking down on me for it. And it's interesting because you seem to have like a really positive view on like the mainstreaming of the new age. But for me, it's like a part of me almost, it's not that I want this, but I'm still expecting to be persecuted on some level because of it. Is that weird? Like,
No, well, and especially like I need to go back and find my notes from the Billy Carson thing, but when he was talking about like generations, like
okay,
trauma being passed down through the DNA, and I was like, that's exactly what it sounds like. Like, um, you know, like it still like has that like trauma of like past like persecution. But also I feel like the counterculture, like what we were talking about last week, how like I feel like the vegan community is kind of like very much at the forefront of this, and I'm hoping that the spiritual community doesn't follow suit, but just like instead of being happy that people are like eating more vegetables and eating less animals, they're like, no, you had a collagen supplement with animal products in it, you're a fake vegan, you're a
they're
murderer.
religious.
Yeah, and it's like next level, and in a million years I never like saw that coming, you know, and I'm like hoping that the new age community doesn't go that far, like, oh no, you didn't cleanse your crystals the way I cleanse my crystals. And you know, like I feel like as more people wake up, there's also like more people that are like judging you for it, you know, like, or maybe that's not the right word, but I
For
don't know.
not doing practicing the way you practice. I see that a little bit in certain communities, not necessarily the quote unquote like light worker community as much. I feel like in that community, there's a little bit more respect for how people choose to practice their thing. Um, in my opinion, whereas like in the witchy community, for example, there's a little bit more like you're supposed to have like your altar set up this way or with this on it and this represented and that, that's that's what I find.
Yeah, it's yeah, I definitely see where you're saying like yeah, I feel like the for the most part the light worker community is like very supportive and like hope well we'll just manifest it that it like stays that way. We'll just like keep it going out, and like Starseed community is like so like inviting, like, and we'll just put it out that it'll like stay that way too. Like but you know
Yeah.
what's funny? Oh, go ahead. What were you saying? Um
I actually haven't felt like the Starseed community has been super inviting for me recently because of the QAnon stuff, and because of COVID. Um, so overall, I think it is a very inviting community, like you said. But those two recent happenings, and because not everyone is on the same page about it being real or not, both has made it feel really split. And I find like some people are really religious about like QAnon. So if you're not like on the same page about like their beliefs about that, then it's like you're a sheeple or you're dumb or stupid. Like that's what I've experienced. And I'm wondering, why am I so aware of this? And you're like, you're just like, it's all good. Am I just like
well
super negative, Jennifer.
No, you're definitely I like when you, as soon as you said those two things, I was like, "Oh, yeah." But
Just
I feel like
those. Just
I
those.
differentiate those from star seeds, but you're right, there
Oh,
definitely are some
interesting.
people it's like
They
a Venn
are.
diagram, but yeah.
It's like they're a part of the community, but they are more like the conspiracy theorists, like to the max, in my opinion. So there's like the general star seeds, and then there's like different subsets, and then there's also like the conspiracy theorists that think like everything is a conspiracy. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, and you know what? It's just like I feel like that like ties back to the like vegan thing. It like goes against the whole point. You know,
Right.
like 'cause like I feel like from what I know about QAnon, it like at least started to just like give people like hope, like and then however far gone it has gone, you know what I'm saying? Like is whatever. But I feel like yeah, that it's like I don't know, it just, like I feel like when people go too far down these, like, rabbit holes, it just, like, defeats the whole purpose, like, it's just like, dude, like
Well, it's hard because especially when, and I don't want anyone to feel attacked, but like the reality is, like some of the predictions this person, whoever this person is, has made haven't come to pass. So for me, it's like it goes back to that religious aspect of it, where you're just like you're not stupid, but we all can fall prey to like blindly following someone's agenda. And at this point, it just feels like people are just, if you're still following it, then you're blindly doing so, because there's been so many things that have come to pass that haven't actually aligned with what this person has claimed it should happen. So it's like, I don't know what to like, what do you want me to do with you? Like, I don't know.
Well, I think that's, like, when, like, what we were talking about earlier, or, like, the very, very beginning is just, like, how some people put so much of their, like, identity into
Right.
something, and I guess, yeah, that's, like, religion too like, too, is, like is it's just, well, and then that's too, like, as we learned in, like, the Atlantean healing, it's all, like, your identity on Earth is all very much, like we can just call it, like, the ego, like, and not, like, in necessarily in, like, a psychology way or, like, a negative way, but that's just, like, what it is, like, your Earth kind of
Yeah.
identity, and, like,
This round.
um yeah, so that's when, like, as a starseed, it's important to, like, step back from that a little bit, and then when you see that you're, like, so attached to one thing, it's, like, important to kinda psychoanalyze and, like, go down the road and be like, "Okay, why am I so attached to this, like, idea? What was it that made me feel this way? And then why do I feel that that's, like, such an identity or part of my identity?" You know?
Whether it's being rich or vegan or patriot or black or whatever, white or Latino and his Latinx and whatever that means, like just take a step back.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't get so wrapped up in it. Yeah. So you can actually feel out for yourself like what actually feels true or is
Yeah.
true for you in this life, because some of the things, like for even me, like there are certain values I grew up with that just they feel true to me. They're just a part of my culture and whatever. And then there are some aspects that I'm just like, I don't rock with that actually. It's not true for me actually at all. So I don't know. And it's also interesting meeting, because a lot of black people are do come from the Christian background, like a lot of Americans do, obviously. But like it's interesting because like sometimes I meet especially older black women, and I feel like sometimes they feel like we're not on the same wavelength because I'm obviously not Christian. I'm just not, obviously. And I can just feel the disconnect there. And I think that's okay, because I'm just not a part of the Black church at all. And that's cool. Like, I don't have
Yeah.
to be, right?
Yeah, like, it's, yeah, and I feel like you just, like, saying that is, like, such a big part, and I feel like it's part of, like, people's, like, awakening right now is, like, recognizing that, like, there can be all this stuff going on, or like stuff that like you grew up and you're like, oh well no, this is how I'm supposed to be, and then just being like, you know what, no, like I don't have to, like it's fine,
No.
and even if it's like something that your parents did, like I feel like when growing up that was like a hard one for me, is to realize that like I don't have to be exactly like what my parents like expect me to be, and like that's okay.
And if there's one lesson we could learn from each other gently, but like I feel like these young LGBTQ kids are really showing us that like you do not have to be like whatever society says you have to be, and no one did anything wrong and you're not wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like actually like what a gift they are to all of us, like giving us so much freedom. And I know we talk a little bit about, we're not talking about gender by the way, what we were talking about earlier with the hotels.
Oh yeah.
But it is about masculine and feminine and like push pull and reciprocity and like, it's not about gender, but it is about like that energy. And so I love that these people are showing us that we can even be fluid within ourselves. Like if you're a more masculine energy, because women can be that way, by the way, for those of you who don't know that, um, some of us can be. You might want a partner, no matter what gender they are, that feels more like softer, you know? Whereas me, I want to be softer in the relationship. And so I'm looking for someone who's going to be more assertive and like all that good, juicy stuff. you know? How do I even get there? I don't even know. I'm so random. Anyway.
No, I like it. And it's funny because when you were saying all that stuff, and I was like, I feel like I definitely want the more like assertive and divine masculine counterpart, because I know that like that's something I need to work on within myself. So like, um, yeah, like to bring out that, but still have someone like kind of like help like bring it out of me and then like balance me that way. Cause yeah, I'm like, I'm still working on it.
The divine masculine energy is just beautiful, honestly. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And there is a difference also between toxic masculinity and divine masculine. Sometimes I think the two get confused. Like, oh, because you're pointing out toxic masculinity, that you're saying masculinity is toxic, and that's not the case. It's There's an aspect of masculinity that is toxic for men and for everyone else too, you know? So, yeah.
Just when it gets too when the scales get tipped too much, and
Yeah,
we've
when you're
definitely
not.
seen that in the world.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's no one's fault. Society pushes us in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? It's the reason we have toxic masculinity is because we told men that it was okay to do certain things and not okay to be a certain way. And so people act out, you know? Yeah.
Too, but yeah, Age of Aquarius, we're gonna like bring all the balance, divine masculine, divine feminine, keep them in balance, create new things. It's gonna be great.
And I will say also like I feel like balance in a relationship is also really important. Like as much as I love divine masculine energy, it's also important to for me to be respected by a partner and to be treated like an equal. And sometimes like I've actually like let go of guys because I didn't feel like I felt like they were too like they were masculine, which was great, but like they didn't always come off respectful to me. like
Yeah, I feel
yeah.
like that was something I struggled with when I was younger, and like, and I feel like sometimes like looking back on it, it was like more just my perception than it was like the actual reality. But like, um,
Yeah,
for
that's
me,
true.
I never wanted to feel like a pet, you
Oh,
know?
totally, totally. Never.
And I feel like sometimes if there's like too much divine masculine and you're like not ready for it, that's like how it comes off.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely found it more abrasive when I was younger than I do now. Um, yeah, I definitely butt heads with people. Like, I like challenging men sometimes, or men who are like come off as too like aggressive. I don't know how to explain it, but I do that certainly. Oh my god, your earphones just died. They just passed away.
Yeah, I told you they were like kind of low earlier, and I was like, of course they're low. Like I like tried to like quick charge them, but they like
I mean,
it didn't get all the way there. So
they lasted a minute, like a hot minute. That's actually really good.
yeah, like they almost made it.
Mhm. Almost.
Almost.
It's all good. Mm. So, anything else about the
I think
divine?
that's all I have here for this
Mhm.
week. Like
Yeah.
hopefully next week, I'll have some exciting stuff. I like need to. I always like say I'm gonna like plan stuff and like
I
research
know.
stuff, but
Okay, I think we just need a reminder because I forgot completely actually. Because we're just like, oh, let's just jump on a call and blah blah blah. But like, I think if there's a reminder, like, hey girl, don't forget to do your Starseed research, then I'll do it. But I just had honestly, I had no time this week. So anyway,
yeah, I'm like it's all good. Like, um, but yeah, I like and two, I like keep like organizing my bookshelf. I don't know if you're this way, and then I've like ordered more books on Amazon, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna read all these things, and I haven't finished an entire book in like I don't even know how long, like over a year probably. I feel like I just like start books and then go on to another one and start it.
you're
Like,
better than me. You are better than me. I have so many books. They're even interesting books that I haven't finished. I just bought a book earlier this week on Reiki, just because I'm always trying to learn. And like also this book from Amazon called The Illusion of Money, which is very like us, of
oh, I love
course.
it. Yeah.
Yes, it's by Kyle Cease, who's a comedian. So I'm excited to read. So excited.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna read those. And I also started Outlander. Um,
Oh, nice.
it's a series like on Netflix, but it's also that book. It's a really I'm gonna take it with me on a train. Never mind. I'm gonna just take it with me. All right, girly. Well,
All
you have an
right.
amazing evening.
Yeah, you too. It's so good to talk to you as always, and I will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.